Once upon a time,
there was Melanie
and Corey,
and this is our story.
Feel good when you found love. Not the fake love, I'm talking about some white doves. I got a shorty that's gonna ride for me, die for me. Put her right hand on the Bible, still lie for me. I got something they be praying for. She know what it is. I never.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. We back with another one as promised, as always.
If you're new to our channel, welcome. For the new people, because I feel like we talk to our friends a lot, we're so used to the people that's been here. But for anybody that's new and maybe this is their first video watching us, Mel and I were in a long distance relationship for how many years?
3 years.
For 3 years.
Well, it's complicated because so we met in 2012. We got together in 2014, and then she moved here in 2015. So I say 3 years because for the duration of 3 years, we were kind of doing the long distance relationship thing.
Yeah, we were building at a distance.
Yes.
So about 3 years we spent in a long distance relationship, and during that time, obviously, we had to come up with ways to ensure that we stay strong, we have a solid foundation to this relationship,
make everything work, make sure that everything was okay for the both of us, even with distance.
So today we wanted to deliver our 5 tips to sustaining a long distance relationship. This year makes 7 years of us being together, going on 5 of those years living in the same space with each other.
Yes.
So we thought it'd be perfect to give y'all kind of some tips of how you could end up like this in your relationship.
And it was actually our last video that made us realize that we've kind of drifted away from long distance relationship things since we are together. We kind of just been like, we'll talk about certain things about our past, but not necessarily helping out the people that were in long distance relationships. And that is literally where we started. That is the basis of our relationship. So we felt like we should definitely help the people that are in long distance relationships, or people that may have wanted to get in a long distance relationship but only ever heard bad about it, or have no idea on how it could even be successful, and they see success stories but never saw or heard the lead up to the success.
These are 5 big things. Obviously there's more, and we'll have more to come in future videos, but we're just gonna start out today with our 5 big tips. So of course we're giving tips for long distance relationships, but this also works for physical relationship as well.
Yes.
So we'll go into the specifics of what makes it even more important for long distance, but you can apply this to your relationship where y'all are side by side. We wanted to start this conversation off by saying that you should know for sure that this is the relationship that you're all in for.
As always, as with every other relationship, but definitely in a long distance relationship, like if you're really gonna do it, you should be all in.
If this is a casual dating thing, if it's just you found that person attractive and you're just kind of giving it some energy for the moment, then let it just be in the moment. You don't have to worry about trying to get longevity, but make sure that you decipher that this is something that I want long term, or is this something that is just okay for the moment that I don't mind actually letting it stay at a distance. So that kind of leads us to our very first tip, which is communication.
In every relationship, communication is key. That's like one of the main things that you need to sustain a decent, healthy relationship. But in long distance relationships, all you have is communication. You don't have the physical aspect at all whatsoever. So you can only, text, talk on the phone, FaceTime, whatever. And it goes beyond just, oh, how was your day? It's like, that's it. For months on end, maybe years on end, that is the only thing that you have. So you have to ensure that like your communication is effective and efficient, and it's happening consistently, and it's the only component that makes this relationship real.
Make sure that you're communicating the way you guys feel with each other. I know a big thing with some of the minor problems or arguments that we would have, it would all stem from just missing each other and not feeling connected. It wasn't necessarily what we were fighting about. It all stemmed from what we were feeling, and it was mostly just being kind of hurt and feeling a little bit of loneliness. Be sure that you are having conversations about how you feel and your emotions with each other. Don't just have those topical conversations where it's just like, how's your day and blah blah blah. You need that, yes, but you need to go deeper to make sure that both of you are on the same page. You're still growing in the same direction. Absolutely. You still have the same wants and needs and things in this relationship, so that your partner knows, because there's no subtle cues like there are when you're in the physical. When you're in the physical, you can catch on to like, oh, it doesn't seem like she likes it anymore, or yeah, the energy is different. But when you're long distance, you just have the same text that you're reading in the same voice that you're assuming that the person is saying it in.
And yeah, and people change like every single day, so you can't just assume that because everything was good a month ago that everything is good now. Like, long distance relationships are really hard. Like, it's emotionally demanding and it's hard. Like,
there's no subtleties in long distance either. Like, you can't try to like drop hints or anything. You need to be straightforward in the relationship.
Yes.
You have to say exactly what you require, what you need, and what you feel like you're missing. The second tip that we have would be creating special moments.
I think date night is essential in any relationship. Because y'all are at a distance, it doesn't mean that you can't get creative with the way that you guys do date night. I had the idea once that we should play Uno, so we both had a deck of Uno and we played it via FaceTime.
It was so fun.
And a lot of people think that it's like so difficult, but it's really not. All you have to do, so for everybody out there, since we're in a pandemic,
right,
this applies. So all you gotta do is, you know, the person that you on the phone with, they have to have a deck of Uno, you have a deck of Uno. And all you have to do is start with the same first card. So if, you know, you shuffle the cards or whatever, and boom, one of y'all pull a blue 3, then now you get a blue 3. You put down that blue 3, and then y'all start playing. And as you play, you just say what your card is. Like, what card, you show the card that you're putting down, you put that card down, then they show their card, put that card down, and you're literally playing the game, but you know, just on opposite ends of the phone.
It was mad fun.
The same exact way as if y'all are in person. It hits, like, I promise.
So we used to do a lot of like movie nights with each other. And what she would do is we would pick a movie, and then she would go find a link for it so that we can watch it at the same time. And if I didn't have the DVD or she didn't have the DVD, we could just have the same link. And we would just choose a time when we got off of work. We would go in, get the link. I would get it. You typically would send it to me in my Twitter DMs.
Yeah.
And then I would go get it, copy paste it into the search bar, and we'd watch the movie together. And like, you don't understand how important those things are until you're in a long distance relationship, because I don't know, it just kind of made me feel like we were in the same place. It made it was us enjoying something together at the same time. We just felt more connected when we're doing the same activity together. And I like the planning stage of doing it as well. So it's like, hey, Friday, keep this time open for me because we're gonna do movie night, and then we plan a whole movie night. You can get the same snacks if you want to, and just kind of curl up with your laptop and watch the movie. You just feel so connected, and moments like that really stood out for me within our relationship when we were apart.
So a third tip is, it's not even a tip, well, it is a tip, but it's also like a strong recommendation too, is visitations. And I know right now this does not apply for right now. This applies to the perfect world. So in the perfect world, when it's not a pandemic and it's safe to travel and stuff like that, I definitely recommend, you know, visits. Even if it's yearly, once a year, you have to visit and have that physical experience. And once you have that first physical experience, and after you meet for the first time, and then it's like, okay, now after we met for the first time, this is really what I want. You are exactly what I thought you would be, and then some. And once y'all get to that point, it's like, now you have something to look forward to, and now you know this is perfect, this is exactly what I want. So when y'all are apart, it's hard and everything, but it's like, you know that all of it is worth it, because when y'all get together, it is exactly what y'all want it to be and what y'all need it to be. Those visits always give you hope and something to look forward to and something to plan for. Like, remember when it was like, oh, we had the countdown.
But whenever we were planning trips to see each other, it would be like a whole ordeal, and it would make it even more special. And I think that's important too. Like the planning phase, we would create like a little map and I would put like a little heart from Arkansas to a heart to New York, and we'd have like a countdown. You can actually still see the countdown on our Instagram. We've said this before, and I think we plug our Instagram all the time, but it's because you can literally see where it started.
Yeah,
you can see we used to use it as kind of like a place to keep our memories before we started doing YouTube.
Oh my god, yeah, it was private, and we didn't even follow the account from our personal accounts. Like, it was just an account that was private that we just posted all of our stuff on. So like,
it used to get spicy on there sometimes. We would post like, it's not there no more, so don't rush over there to go look at it.
Yes, I would wake up to something, or she would wake up to something. Like, I would wake up every morning and just look on it to see if like she left me something, or I left you stuff all the time. Like, I would be on it every day, like just going in.
It was so cute.
It was so cute.
But with the visits, it's definitely a necessity to do it. But you have to also, a major tip is to make sure that you start to save for your long distance relationship. It does become pricey because you do have to travel, and there's a lot of like gift exchanges and trying to like make up for the fact that you're not there. Like, when we had Valentine's Days apart, then it was like, oh, we need to make sure that you have the nicest Valentine's Day. I have to send you like a grand box of things, and you know, it gets a little bit pricey, but clearly it's worth it.
It is worth it. But post offices and airports,
that's your life.
Your life, and neither thing is cheap, so it's just one of those things. Like, if you're going to choose to be in a long distance relationship, know that it comes with a whole bunch of expenses.
Okay, our next tip would be to make sure that you're dedicated to the relationship.
Yes.
You have to really want it. Like, this can't be anything that's just a casual thing for you. You really need to want this, because you have to make sure that there's nothing that can tempt you to make you want to step out on your relationship or anything. You are so fully committed within this. That dedication is so strong that you're doing everything in your power to ensure that the relationship works. That just ties along with what we were saying before, is to make sure that you know that this is the relationship you want to see play out in the long run.
Yeah.
Recognize it within the relationship and stay dedicated through whatever. And that ties along with the communication, to make sure that y'all still on the same page, so that you keep recommitting yourself to that person all the time.
Yes.
And you are so fulfilled within the emotional connection that you've made that you don't need an outside force to come in to fill in any voids. There's no void. The only problem is I have to miss you. That's the only thing, and it doesn't feel like a negative. I just miss you.
Everything that we said, as far as like we said, like it being an expensive thing, it being something that you really like. For example, when we were apart or whatever, I remember anytime I would be out, because I like to be out and about. So I would be out and about, but I would always be on my phone, always. And they probably wouldn't even know it. So maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't, but I would always just like, you know, I would be fully engaged into the conversations that I'm having and stuff. But off to the side, my phone is hot and it say 15 hours and 26 minutes and 39 seconds. Like, and that's just what it gave. Like, we would, unless I like got on a train or my phone died or somebody else was calling me or whatever, we would just be on the phone. And I feel like little things like that, I'm still gonna live my life and do what I do, but like, you can't be alongside me so you could be on my phone. It's like that, like it's being dedicated to take that extra mile to do certain things. You know, FaceTime with each other, whatever, by any means necessary. House phones, whatever we needed to do, we did it.
Not the house phone.
Yeah, it all boils down to just being dedicated enough to make sure that you're not feeling, you know, more alone or more sad about the distance and stuff like that.
For our last tip for this video, we just really wanted you to know that living in the moment is a really big deal. It may seem like that's a given, but when you actually get around to getting those visits that you just saved up all that money for, you worked it up, y'all planned it, you had a countdown, you left little cute messages on y'all's joint Instagram, y'all just did all of that. When you get together, you have to live in those moments. Every single moment counts. The moments you're living through now are gonna make the memories that you take back when y'all are so far apart.
Yes.
Of course, making the big moments, seeing each other is big. Obviously, the sex is gonna be great. Having that intimate moment and everything with each other, those are really great moments, but also really honing in on the small things you don't even think about that are important. When we were apart, I never wanted to go to the movies. Because when you go to the movies, clearly you go with your friends. and your friends gonna bring their boo. And I'm like, I'm not single, but I have to live the single life of being like the third wheel or the fifth wheel. I didn't want that. And I used to miss her all the time. I used to tell you all the time, like, I want to go to the movies with you, because that would be our thing. I lived in the South, so the biggest thing you could do basically is go to the movies. So when we got together, it was like, let's go to the movies. It's little stuff like that,
yeah,
that you don't even think about.
With me, I think in living in the moment, especially in being together, and this is also a given, but like just being present, living in your head will really ruin the right now moment, and subconsciously we do that often. We don't even realize we're living in the future, living in the past. We oh, I gotta do this, I'm gonna go do that, then I'm gonna go here, then I'm gonna go there, then you don't even realize it was like, okay, this is this day at this time. Like,
what
you're
about
not
today?
You're not even here. So just because, you know, like you finally got the person and y'all together, it doesn't stop your brain from being on autopilot. So consciously take the time to just be present. I don't even recommend that for the first trip you guys
plan stuff,
have like a full-blown itinerary. I get that you want to do that because you never got the chance to, but I'm telling you, don't waste that time, you know, traveling or, you know, among so many other people waiting and, you know, lines and stuff. Literally just, if you guys can and have the space and opportunity to just be, you know, just in the same place and present, then definitely do that. Like once it passed, it feels like a dream.
It's like it never happened. It's like vacation. When you go on vacation, you have a good time, but you are packed and you're doing everything to like live it up on this island or whatever. Then when you get home, you like, damn. The only reason why I remember that happens is because I got some pictures.
All these pictures and videos and
That's
snaps.
it.
And then after like 2 weeks, bunch of tan is going and everything, and you just shout out all the food that you done ate. It's like,
not the boo-boo. Oh my god.
it's like, okay,
Ooh,
I can't wait for my next day. Take me back.
Yeah, take me back.
Then they,
Throwback Thursday. You was just there last week.
then they hashtag it, take me back.
Right. Don't let that be your relationship. All right, so those were our 5 tips for sustaining a long distance relationship, and that's coming from professionals. I think we can call ourselves pros now. We are LDR pros.
Yeah, I think we successfully did it. We are legitimately, you know, like the epitome of a long distance relationship because we were together before we met. Didn't know her from a hole in a wall. Didn't even know if like the person, her Abby, was.
Cause I could have been a catfish.
Exactly. Like
you
I didn't even.
You was applying pressure. Like you was on my body, and I could have been a 40-year-old man.
Exactly.
Let's talk about it.
So I feel like because of that, it's like we went from it could have been a catfish to finally FaceTime, and it's like, oh my god, you really are a real person. And you know, all of that to meeting years later, and you know, and then really saying, all right, yeah, we could be together. And
I'm excited to start rolling out content dedicated to our LDR fams.
Yes.
That love us and rock with us, and also of course the same content that all of y'all love, with just seeing us thrive and knowing where we started from. As always, thank you guys so much for watching.
Be sure to subscribe, like, comment. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, turn on your post notifications, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good.
All right, we'll see y'all in the very next video. Bye.
Later.
Girl, hit my line, let me hear you talk. Give you the word, ain't no calling off. You can call me crazy, cause at least you call. Can call me crazy, cause at least you call me. Girl, hit my line.
Y'all like my haircut? Cause I do.